Welcome to the Story Vault, where every tale is unlocked. From myths and legends to horror fantasy life stories and real events, every story has a place here. Now, I open the vault and begin today's story. After the immediate shock of June 25, 2009, the story of Michael Jackson's final years continued to unfold in the public imagination. For his three children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket, the loss was intensely private. They had grown used to a father who balanced gentle parenting with bursts of almost magical creativity. In interviews given years later, Paris recalled nights when Michael would gather them under a blanket fort and tell stories about animals in far-off jungles, his voice shifting into different characters. He would encourage them to pursue art, to draw, to dance, to never fear being different. Those memories became a source of strength as the world mourned a man they simply called Daddy. Michael's relationship with his children in the 2000s had become the quiet center of his life. Friends often remarked that fatherhood transformed him. The performer who once thrived on stadium roars now found equal joy in school projects and bedtime stories. At Neverland, he had created an environment where childhood wonder was celebrated. But in his later years, he strove for a more ordinary domesticity. He attended parent-teacher meetings under disguise, cooked pancakes on Sunday mornings, and left handwritten notes of encouragement in lunchboxes. When he planned the This Is It shows, he made sure the children would have stable routines in London, hiring tutors and scouting private spaces where they could play away from the press. Business negotiations for This Is It were equally complex. The residency was not only a concert series, but a financial strategy to stabilize his estate and fund future creative ventures. Decades of legal battles and extravagant expenses had strained his finances, yet he remained one of the most valuable music brands in the world. The deal with AEG Live promised hundreds of millions in revenue from ticket sales, merchandise, and potential live recordings. Insurance policies were arranged to protect against cancellation. Promoters, investors, and lawyers met in a web of contracts that reflected both his earning power and the risks of relying on a single superstar who had been absent from the stage for years. Despite the commercial stakes, Michael maintained that art came first. He envisioned the London concerts as a prelude to a larger project, a new album that would blend cutting-edge electronic textures with the soulful melodies he loved. He spoke of recording with younger producers to shock the world and prove that he was still at the frontier of pop. Close collaborators remember hearing rough demos fragmented but promising, filled with intricate rhythms and layered harmonies. One track, Whispered Among Insiders, fused gospel choirs with dubstep-like beats, an audacious mix that hinted at yet another reinvention. His ambition went beyond music. Michael told Confidence that he wanted to direct films, particularly stories with strong moral messages or magical realism. He admired Walt Disney's ability to create entire worlds and dreamed of building new theme park experiences that would blend technology and storytelling. "I want to create something that lasts forever," he said to a friend in early 2009. "Something that children can step into and feel the power of imagination." These dreams reveal a man who, even after decades of fame, remained driven by the same boundless creativity that had propelled him from a Gary, Indiana living room to the pinnacle of global culture. In the wake of his death, those dreams became part of a broader legacy carefully managed by the Jackson estate. Executors John Branca and John McClane moved quickly to stabilize finances, negotiate with creditors, and protect his intellectual property. They secured rights to unreleased recordings, oversaw the release of This Is It, and organized tribute events that drew millions. The estate soon generated enormous revenue, demonstrating that Michael's influence and commercial power did not end with his life. The cultural impact of his passing was extraordinary. In the days immediately after June 25, digital music sales shattered records as fans downloaded classics like Billie Jean and Man in the Mirror. Radio stations dedicated entire weekends to his catalog. Dance crews in cities from Rio to Seoul staged flash mob tributes, synchronizing moonwalks in public squares. Fashion magazines revisited his style innovations: military jackets, single white gloves, fedora hats, and younger artists openly acknowledged their debt to his groundbreaking videos and stagecraft. From Beyonce to Justin Timberlake, performers spoke of how his precision and passion had set the standard for modern pop. Academics and cultural critics also revisited his complex identity. They debated how his art bridged racial boundaries, how his evolving appearance reflected both personal struggles and broader conversations about race, fame, and self-image. Scholars analyzed his music as a fusion of Motown soul, rock guitar, funk bass lines, and global rhythms, arguing that his ability to blend genres was as revolutionary as his dance. For many, the tragedy of his final years underscored the immense pressure that accompanies global superstardom, a pressure that can magnify vulnerabilities and turn private health issues into public spectacle. Meanwhile, the children faced a life forever changed. Under the care of their grandmother Catherine, they gradually stepped into the public eye, attending school events and later speaking openly about their father's influence. Prince developed an interest in media production. Paris pursued acting and modeling while advocating for environmental causes and mental health awareness. Blanket, now known as BG, chose a quieter path, but remained close to his siblings. Each has described a commitment to honoring Michael's legacy not through imitation, but by living creative, compassionate lives. Michael's music continued to resonate in new ways as the years passed. Posthumous albums introduced unfinished tracks polished by contemporary producers. Broadway and Cirque du Soleil productions celebrated his choreography, drawing audiences of all ages. In classrooms and dance studios, young performers who had been toddlers when Thriller was released learned the moonwalk and the sharp pops of Smooth Criminal, proof that his artistry remained timeless. The mythology surrounding his final months also persisted. Journalists, biographers, and fans sifted through rehearsal footage, medical records, and personal testimonies, seeking to understand the man behind the headlines. Some emphasized the cautionary tale of celebrity and dependence on medication. Others focused on his relentless dedication to craft, noting that even in his 50s, he rehearsed with the discipline of a newcomer. The documentary This Is It became both evidence of his vitality and a poignant reminder of what the world lost. Perhaps most striking is how Michael's late career story reveals the duality that defined his life: an almost superhuman performer and a deeply human father and dreamer. On stage, he was a kinetic blur of perfection, but away from the spotlight, he wrestled with insomnia, physical pain, and the longing to create something enduring. His daily health routines, carefully prepared meals, stretching, consultations with a rotating team of physicians were attempts to reconcile those two realities: the need to protect a fragile body while sustaining a career built on extraordinary physicality. In back, the This Is It era feels both triumphant and tragic. It demonstrated that even after decades of scrutiny and scandal, Michael Jackson remained capable of captivating the world. The sheer demand for tickets, the global anticipation, and the brilliance captured in rehearsal footage proved that his talent never waned. Yet the same ambition that fueled his return also contributed to the conditions that made his passing possible: relentless pressure, chronic insomnia, and a medical regimen that blurred the line between care and risk. As the years stretched beyond his death, Michael's influence shows no sign of fading. New generations discover his music through streaming platforms. His videos continue to inspire dancers. His philanthropic messages, particularly those advocating for children and the environment, resonate in an era of global concern. The image of Michael Jackson in those final rehearsals, hat tilted, feet gliding, voice soaring, has become emblematic not of decline, but of enduring brilliance. He left the world on the cusp of another reinvention, proving once more that, even in absence, the king of pop remains a singular force in popular culture. Another tale has been unlocked here in the Story Vault. If you enjoyed this story, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the next one. Until then, the vault is closed, but the stories live on.